Hello and welcome to a very special StarCraft 2 cast between two very special players, Kier and Shin. These two players are competing in the Sty 5.0 Festival in the group stages, and they are vying for tournament priority for the upper bracket, lower bracket, or on the chance that they get eliminated. So I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing some very high quality games. And honestly, I've been loving watching the Cure games lately. Just some very exciting, very interesting games. There's Reaper coming over here, already starting the harass, and just overall trying to keep this Zerg suppressed, because that's really on the onus of the Terran in the early game, based on the way that the Zerg plays. Speaking of the way that the Zerg plays, here comes this drone over here trying to get the base down, but there's already a guy here, and there's even a Reaper here, and the Reaper denying the extractor. That's crazy. Definitely a little bit frustrating for our Zergy player, but sure, we've got another one coming. Yep. Hopefully with reinforcements. Bouncing that queen back once more just to keep everything a little bit slower. Gotta make sure you send this guy away, or maybe you lose your drone again. Cure. Showing off some really spicy, very intro strategies. Just overall, a very frustrating approach to play against, but exactly what you want to see for the Terran player. A little bit of a group of Lings over here. Not exactly sure what's going on with these guys. It's a lot of them. Maybe we were just kind of worried that there'd be, I don't know, maybe there are more, or maybe just, but I kind of thought we'd see like a little bit of a push over here just to kind of harass these guys. Definitely seeing a Banshee on the way with Cloak, more reactored Hellions coming down, and this third base should be coming down anytime soon, lifting off and landing over here. First Hellions coming across the map. Cure ready to double down on all that aggression, just to do everything that's possible. But Shin kind of setting up a little bit of a ambush, taking those guys out. Wow. Very nice play from Shin. Cure definitely did not expect that. And it's a little bit of an issue, because each of those guys, each of those Hellions that you keep alive for the end game or the mid game, you know, for like a Hellbat push or whatever, each of them is just going to have that much more value. Because, I mean, you'll just have so many more for the push when it comes. That's what I'm trying to say. First Hellbat over here. Banshee, I mean, just kind of hanging out, it seems. Not really doing much. And this base came down over here. Something to note, actually, also, is that Shin has 3 bases. And so does Cure. Honestly, you like to see up a base for the Zerg. Thankfully, Shin does have the drone lead at 55 to 49. So, still things are going okay. But you'd really like to see another base come down. Probably like over here. I feel like this one's a little less safe. Oh, actually, going to be going down here, and looks like both of these Banshees were waiting for each other to show up to go in there. And I really like this. I like that. I just feel like Banshees can get so much more damage when they go in together. At least it kind of seems that way to me, you know? Oh, and double Evo. That's nice to know. Ooh, sniping a couple of those drones. Flying over here. Probably not going to get any more damage with these queens denying. Just going to snake on by. I do like seeing double Evo. It kind of... I remember I did double Evo for a while when I played. It's a fun little build to do, because you get to keep up with the Terran upgrades, which you can easily, so easily fall behind in if you're not very, very careful. Ooh, this guy getting quite low. Actually, a little bit of a overseer kind of sneaky attack. I love this. Starting the creep spread over here. It's going to be very, very important. Oh, and speaking of being very important, definitely looks like something is on the way. Definitely gonna need to manage that. And let's see. Is there... Yeah, okay, there is an armory. And look at all these buildings. Kira looks like, once again, committing to an aggressive push. This tank actually going over here, beginning to clear this creep spread. We see some Banelings on the way. They're not quite ready yet, but soon they will be. And actually, centrifugal? The Baneling speed is almost here. It's kind of actually targeting this hatchery, getting it down to half health, doing very well. Ooh, man. Thankfully, some transfusions coming down, but here we are, here we go. Banelings rolling in, a little bit of a wraparound, actually coming from behind. Jumping on all these guys and a little bit of extra micro from Kira, picking those guys up. Doesn't seem like it helped, but thankfully, they will be escaping. Some Banshees showing up for the funeral of those units. Ain't no hollaback girl. That's what they say, right? Hollaback girl? I don't know. But if you look on the minimap, you can see Kira has no intention of stopping this stream of units, and another little Baneling wave coming in, getting a couple of detonations, thanks to some of those Lings actually somehow getting in there. These Queens running in over here. Lots of Queens just fighting, trying to snipe this tank. Wonderful. Even the Banshees. Perfect. Shin, doing everything you need to do, but this is so low. Maybe you can snipe that right now. Deciding not to do it just yet. Shin's gonna have to pull something out really serious. He's gonna have to wipe this army and then follow it all the way back to the Terran's home base if he's really gonna stop it, because these tanks and these Marines are not stopping. And here we go. Setting up a perfect little concave, trying to get everything. Sniping another tank, but having to back off. You just see how low that base is. And there we go, diving on the base, taking it out. That's Shin's only mining 4th base. Relegated now to 3 bases. Shin is in a terrible spot. Look at the supply, 124 to 158. And actually in this position, I think... No, Overlords. Oh god. But in this position, I think you could start to do some very annoying medevac drops over here and just cause tons of issues because they'd be protected by tanks down here. Here, completely pushing into the base, and here we go, tons of Banelings rolling in, getting amazing hits, pretty good at least. Wiping out some of those units, but it kind of seems like Kira is taking the Zerg approach, just the endless wave. You do not want to be a Marine in this army, I'll tell you that much. But it's all working out in the favor of Kira, because Kira's economy is so strong, and Shin is relegated to these few bases. Now Shin really needs to get this kill. Kira needs to really get this kill. Can't let Shin just sit back and be safe. Actually doing some of these harassments up here, but not going well the first time around. Losing those guys. Hopefully he does it again, because I'd like to see that. I think that's exactly the kind of thing that I would run into, and it would just kind of ruin my day. All these armies just pushing further and further into the Zerg throat. Very interesting, like walking there instead of, just picking up, but now actually dropping over there. Using the vision of all these units. And just look at all the damage. Look how efficiently they can trade, because it just gives so much vision. Lots of Banelings on the way, preparing for another attack. Trying to clear this up with one more little wave. And here we go. Loads of Banelings rolling in, but expert micro from Kira, clearing up most of it. The Zerg army is looking extremely thin. And there we go. Shin realizes that he can't hold on. GG. Kira taking that game and showing us exactly what Terran is made of. And here we are on Ultra Love. Now that last game, kind of great. Oh, kind of bouncing himself a little bit there. That last game, a little bit crazy. I think Kira really showing us, like, I don't know, like what I think of as quintessential Terran, right? Just the extremely powerful army, and it just kind of feels like no matter how many of them you kill, they just keep on going. Now, something I want to point out, it seems like Kira just kind of ignored that drone going by. Something to notice, it's very different this game as opposed to last game, is that that base got put down very easily. Now, Brenda, where are you going? Just, you've strayed very far. Don't know if that's... I like the little mine there, but not quite going off. Yeah, so this base coming down already, and I think, like, if we are going to see Shin win this game, I think, you know, cleaning up a lot of those mistakes we saw in the last one, and in particular, that really egregious one in the beginning where you lost 2 drones was super unfortunate. So yeah, typical 3 base hatch into metabolic boost, already back on gas. And then over here for the Terran, we've got some reactored Hellions, and it looks like we're gonna have some Banshees, and we already have our little expansion on the way. Reaper and the Hellion are teaming up because they just love killing drones that much. But the Queen over here, already prepared, in position, prepared to repel any forces that are going to try and cause any issues. Even just trying to poke every single way. Just somehow Shin reading the mind of Kier, knowing exactly where those guys are going. Oh, maybe it's this guy. Could be this guy with all the extra knowledge, and this guy. Yeah, that definitely helps. Overlords and Overlord positioning, super important. So here we go, this base coming down over here for the 3rd, and a little drones Overlord scout into the main base, just kind of seeing everything. Now let's see, where is that Banshee? Is the Banshee out yet? Well, in either way, we've got 1, 2, 3 barracks. So far, super normal. But I'm starting to kind of get a picture of Kier, and that Kier really likes to go for these. A little bit of a harass attack down here. Trying to stop the queens from spreading creep, but they totally are. Yeah, so I think Kier really likes to go for these really aggressive builds. Like, you get to 3 base, and then you just produce, and then you make Hellbats. And we've got 4 gases going, and we're switching to reactor at Starport, and we're adding on 2 more barracks. So I think if we see 3 more, then we'd be seeing the build that I remember someone in the comments was telling me about. Now here are these 2 guys coming over here, getting ready for some harassment. Oh, and it looks like we have double upgrades once again. Just snaking along the bottom side of the map. But Shin, already prepared. But in either way, either case, it seems like you can do some pretty good damage. Got 2 already. Maybe we can get some more. Yep. Doing pretty good. Now we do see the 4th base coming down. Much easier to acquire this time. This base? I guess it could be annoying if you had a tank down here, but there's so much creep. Shin's done a great job preparing to defend this base. I guess like over here would be like really annoying, like down here or over here, and then attacking in there. Yeah, I could see that being really annoying. Looks like this army is getting ready to head out, and we see a little supply depot in the center. Reminds me of Max Packs. I saw Max Packs do that once. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've all come to know and love it. Now this is going to be a very formidable attack. Has all the extra time and extra safety been exactly what Shin needs to make this happen, this defense happen. Some Banelings already getting some explosions down. Oh wait. Seems like I made a mistake. They're not leaving yet. Do they have... No, yeah, they're doing it. Okay, I just got ahead of myself. They weren't doing it yet. They were just getting started. Hydralisk's on the way. I wonder if we're going to see Lurkers. 1-1 almost done. So Shin going to have some very nice upgrades. And this creep spread is actually kind of blowing my mind. covering everything. All across the map, all the way over here. Like, what angle do you attack from? It's looking like it's going to be from this direction, considering he keeps walking over here, but... Okay, now we're doing it for real this time. What are these little supply depots in the middle of nowhere? And this great little wall over here that he's building. I really love this. The Sim City. So important. Now, it definitely looks like this base is kind of in for a rough spot. This base gonna be hard to defend. There's only 2 channels to attack through, here and through here. Shin, a little bit lower supply actually. So I think Shin, I actually think Shin's in a great spot to defend this attack. Pretty much not like over droned or anything, and also relatively unharassed. This first little attack force deciding to retreat. Oh, that was crazy. 1 Baneling blew that guy up? That's crazy. Maybe he was hurt already. He must have been hurt already. But this is going to be hard to defend. You're really just going to have to pounce on this. Oh, and I think here we go. Coming from both of these sides through these channels. So many Banelings exploding. Tons of micro from Cure. But getting the wraparound, even with the queens, on all of these tanks, completely destroying this army. Only a small contingent survives. The reinforcements are already on the way. It's not going to end, I think, until you literally contain Cure. I think Cure has no intention of going home. Based on watching him play, that's just kind of what I noticed. Adding on another command center. And he's droned quite well. Equal workers, actually. Shin's really going to need some extra tech or something like that. Or maybe just like to win in an overwhelming fashion. Oftentimes what you might need is killing 1 or 2 armies. Actually, like 2 armies with just 1 army. That's like the best thing that you can see. And here we go, another attack. Running out here, doing decently, getting some good Baneling explosions. These guys back here really microing their heads off. And taking the tanks out. Killing the tanks is so important because tanks are just, they're more expensive and they produce slower. There's less of them. So, but they're so important for this entire army. This entire army kind of revolves around these tanks. Looks like maybe we're going to see some kind of sneaky wraparound stuff. I feel like if you had a few Banelings in here, you could totally bust in there and really do some damage. But actually Shin deciding to jump on these reinforcements. That same advanced strategy of jumping on the reinforcements back there. But oh my god, Kira Micro lifting that guy up and this army pulling back. Shin just saved himself a lot of time. But 3-3 is on the way. We've got 2-2 for Shin. But you're really going to need something special. And I think Vipers might just be what you need. And yeah, the extra upgrade for that would be really good too. Just poking out. Messing away. Messing around. Killing some of this creep. What's going on over here? A little bit of a push. Actually some decent Baneling explosions. Very nice. Harassing this base, but this is a planetary and it's very strong. Kier's reached 4th base, Terran, and that is going to be very rough to deal with. You're really going to need to... Oh no, you really can't lose this. Just these little Marines, this one little Marine contingent. Losing the 3rd base, one whole mining base going down. Shin now in a very rough spot, having to defend against a 4-base Terran on like meh tier tech with a smaller economy. I mean, look at the economy. It's definitely in favor of Cure. Cure prepared to take his win, pushing all the way onto the Zergy side of the map. I love the micro with the tanks. It looks so cool to just drop them like that. Shin wants to do another little surprise attack into the reinforcements. I do love this. It's so good. I feel like this, especially combined with, oh my, not paying attention Wow, getting so many of those guys. Amazing. But Kira has an army over here as well. Shin in the third base of Terran. It's a kind of a base race, except there's not a whole lot here for the Zerg. There's not a whole lot here for the Terran either. But economically, it's still going to be 3 base versus 4 base, even if a lot of the SCVs went down. Workers killed 19, 22 for Kira. Kira killing so many, definitely coming out ahead in that, and also ahead in supply. Cleaning up some of the remainders of this attack. Trying to see what supply we can actually gain back, but it's going to be rough from this position. Let's look at the income. Minerals is okay, but definitely still, I'd say roughly a very similar spot. Lurkers on the way. Might be just what we need if we're going to keep these armies out, but kind of in a very dangerous position. Ooh. Hatching and being able to burrow just in time. Definitely aren't going to be any ghosts for a while. But oh my god, these tanks over here are nuts. Do you think if a lurker was burrowed here, it could hit the tank over there? Oh, these lurkers in a rough spot, but nice. Some very cool little pools. And these queens attacking the siege line, I don't think that's gonna work. It's looking more and more rough. This army up here just kind of killing everything in the main base. Just some marines. That's all it takes. Shin dipping below 100 supply. And this army, Shin can't handle it. GG. Here takes the series 2-0. Wow. A really fun series to cast. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I really do feel like it kind of showed like some, I don't know, what I kind of think of like quintessential Terran. Just super exciting, like that parade march that never ends kind of thing, you know? And yeah, so I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you around.